Today I'm going to show you how to knit this beautiful buffalo plaid chunky blanket using Bernat Blanket Big yarn. To achieve a blanket this size, you're going to need 7 skeins of this chunky yarn. You need 3 skeins of the main color, which appears in each row of the blanket. We're using the limestone here, which is that beautiful black, gray, and white marled yarn that is just perfect for a buffalo plaid blanket. Color 2 is going to be on your edges. In this blanket, we use vintage, but today we're going to use black to get this result. There are many different beautiful color combinations you can use, but for this video, main color is going to be the limestone, color 2 is black, and color 3 is vintage. Whatever colors you choose, we're going to start with color 2, so grab those 2 skeins and make 4 small balls out of those. We're going to be knitting with 5 working yarn balls in each row, so this is just going to make it a lot easier. So grab one of those balls of color 2 and let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is make a slip knot. This is our tail and the rest is our working yarn. Simply make a loop, wrap the working yarn around it, and pull it through. Make the loop the width of 3 fingers and tighten the tail and the working yarn until you get a nice tight knot at the width you want. This is our first stitch in our chain of 25. To make your second stitch, push the working yarn through the bottom and pull it through the loop. Use your thumb and your index finger on your non-dominant hand to hold the stitches in place and make sure that none of them twist. Make sure they're all going in the same direction. Use your arm to hold the chain down, again, just to make sure it doesn't rotate. Once you've completed your chain of 25 stitches, lay it out flat, and we're going to flip it over. You'll notice the stitches look a bit different from this side. We are going to be counting and working from the middle stitch here. Count your stitches, make sure you have 25. And I need to add another one here, so I'll add my 25th stitch. And now we're ready for step 2. To begin knitting, we're going to leave the end stitch. Put your 2 fingers through that top middle stitch and pull out a stitch with a width of 2 fingers. Repeat this 3 more times so that you have 4 stitches total that you pulled from the top of the chain, plus the 1 stitch on the end. Now grab a ball of your main colored yarn. We are going to tie that tail onto this working yarn of color 2. Tie your knot and slide it up towards the chain so it will blend in. Add some fabric sealant to that tail to prevent any fraying. Put your 2 fingers through the next middle stitch and knit 5 stitches in your main color. After knitting 5 stitches with your main color, tie on your next ball of color 2 and knit 5 stitches. Fabric sealant is not necessary. However, if you're going to give this blanket as a gift or sell it, I highly recommend taking this step to prevent any fraying. Repeat the steps, tie on a tail of your main color and knit 5 stitches, and then your final 5 stitches with color 2. Always remember to remove any loose fibers before you add on that sealant. We've completed our row of 5 blocks of alternating colors, and we're now ready for step 3. We're now ready to start our third row with our first stitch being pulled up through the last stitch in row 2. The first and last stitches of each row should be tighter than the rest of the blanket to ensure a nice edge. You'll now be using your left hand to pull the yarn through the stitches. Do that 4 more times, so that you have 5 stitches in color 2. Intarsia is a knitting term that is going to allow us to change colors in this row. Simply drop your working yarn over your new tail, wrap them around each other high and tight, and knit your next stitch. Always keep an eye on your stitches and make sure they are not twisting as you're knitting. Complete 5 stitches with the main color. Use intarsia to change to color 2. And when you get to the end of your row, make sure that that last stitch is a little bit smaller to ensure a nice straight edge to the blanket. Repeat these steps for 4 more rows to complete blocks of 6. I'm going to speed up the recording of knitting rows 4 through 6, or you can just skip ahead to step 4. We've finished our first 5 blocks and are ready to change colors. Cut the tails close to the stitches. And place the new working yarn where you're going to connect it. So your main color is going to go where color 2 has been, and color 3 is going to attach to where you had your main color. If you're using our color selections, you will attach limestone to black and vintage to limestone. You will be able to feel and see plastic that is in the center of your yarn that's holding the fibers together. That plastic will catch the flame when we put our lighter next to it. Then you can put both pieces together, hold it for a moment, carefully roll it between your fingers to create a nice smooth bond that won't break. The yarn will be warm, so be careful at this step, and please don't allow children to do this. Repeat this process for the remaining 4 tails. Make sure to fix any dropped stitch before you connect the new yarn. As always, remove any loose fibers. Now we are ready to knit our blocks of 6 rows using intarsia to change color within the row. And here I have a few dropped stitches that I have to fix. I'm going to speed up the rest of this video, or you can jump ahead to the next step if you're ready. You can now see the effect of the buffalo plaid that we're creating. It is going to be a beautiful blanket. After we finish the 13th row, we're ready to change colors again. Cut the tails close to the stitch. Arrange the alternating colors for the plaid. And remove any loose fibers from the tails and burn your ends together. And then start knitting. You're going to knit another 6 rows using intarsia to change color within your row. Once you complete this step, you're going to repeat it 8 more times. We have 11 blocks in this blanket. I'm going to speed up the rest of this video, or you can jump ahead to step 6. We've reached row 67 in our blanket, which is the last row of colored blocks. Knit your 5 stitches, but instead of using intarsia to change color, we are actually going to break the yarn and tie it on to the next color. Don't cut this tail too close to the stitch. You do want to leave extra yarn to tie a knot. Remove those loose fibers. Make sure to fix any stitches that may have dropped when you made your knot. Make a nice clean cut to remove any excess yarn. Add your sealant to prevent fraying, but that sealant will also act as an adhesive, so you can tuck it into the blanket so it won't be noticeable. When you reach your last stitch, do not break that yarn. We are going to use it to bind off or finish the blanket. I happened to run out of yarn, so I am going to burn on another piece before we go to step 7. To bind off, we're going to knit 2 stitches together all the way down the row. Put your finger through the first 2 stitches and push your working yarn through those stitches to create a longer stitch with a width of 3 fingers. Take that stitch and grab the next smaller stitch, pull the working yarn through, and keep moving down the row. When you reach your last stitch, break your yarn, leave yourself a tail that you are going to tie into that last stitch and then weave into the chain that we just created. Loop your tail through that last stitch and pull it tight. And weave it into that chain, securing it with some fabric sealant at the end. Unroll your blanket, and we're going to weave in the tail that we left at the top. Shorten that tail if it's too long, remove any fibers, add your sealant, and tuck it in. And you're done. I hope you enjoyed making this buffalo plaid blanket. I hope you enjoyed the process and you like how it came out. Let me know in the comments. Thank you.